My name is Abdullah Varacha. I'm a faculty member here at GIBS, and it gives me great pleasure to introduce a new program that we're launching at the school in partnership with Genesis Analytics. And so I've invited Mr. Ryan Short, who's a partner at the firm, to come and talk through us on this program that we've designed around government-business engagement. So in an emerging market like South Africa, we often hear at GIBS says that politics drives economics, and that politics is a key enabler in terms of how you run your business, the macroeconomic issues, the impact of government in terms of firm-level strategy. What are some of the elements you're going to cover in the course?
The first day is going to be a more general exposition of the nature of the business-government relationship.
Right.
So what we'd like to do there is firstly give the delegates a contextual insight into what is happening globally.
Right.
With business and government relationships. What are the big trends that we see? Secondly, in South Africa, then we'll move to South Africa and we'll look at what is the role of business in South Africa and what is the role of government. Now, those sound like simple questions, but sure. The traditional role of government does what government does, business does what business does of the 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s has changed.
Sure.
You see this in global trends. You now have governments who run companies, you have companies who are expected to solve social problems that previously would have been in the ambit of government. So we would like to introduce the delegates to some of these trends contextually. Right. Then we want to talk about what does business want from government in South Africa. It's not always clear.
Sure. And
we've got some senior level speakers coming to participate on that. Then we'd like to know what does government want from business.
Right. The
vice versa story. And we'd be looking at the role of companies, but also the role of collective institutions like BUSA, BLSA in interaction with governments. Day two, we get down to the nitty-gritty.
Right.
We're going to look there at tools and frameworks for mapping stakeholders, government stakeholders, also for working with regulators. So how do you work effectively and ethically with a regulator? How do you work with Parliament effectively and ethically? And how do you work with municipalities and licensing departments effectively and ethically?
What I often find in engaging with business is there are multiple layers of government. There's local, there's provincial, there's national, there's state-owned companies, there's parliament and the legislature that you've spoken about. Will this course provide an opportunity to look at how we navigate some of these different players in government?
Yes, it will. Look, it's a very broad topic because government is such an important and complex player in the economy. And that's why the course is necessary and important to understand that stakeholder a lot better. So we will, as I say, we'll try and cover all of the main relationships between government and business, from the national policy level right down to dealing with your licensing department at a municipality.
Right. Another vexing issue that we tend to find is this difference between party and state. Is that something that's going to come through? What's the relationship between party and state? And we see the differences there.
It's a great question. So theoretically, there should be a party and there should be a government.
Sure.
Practically, there's some merging between those two. I think we all know that. So it's very hard to run a course on or a program on what is the role of government and how to improve relationships with government without thinking about the party. That said, it's not going to be a political course.
Who's the intended audience for this program and how will they benefit?
Okay, so on the business side, I would certainly say, if not CEOs, then people from the CEO's office.
Right.
Strategists, so the strategy department, and then the external facing departments like government relations, public policy and advocacy, communications, citizenship. On the government side, we also think that that government officials that either regulate business on a day-to-day basis, right, or have a lot of interaction with the private sector would also benefit from this course. And we hope that we get a good mix of business and government representation, because that's part of a broader purpose of starting to bring together, as you know, two sides that have not had a high levels of trust, sure, or understanding in their relationship.
I think it's a fascinating course, and I think it's timely given the type of relationship that's starting to emerge from a country perspective. I look forward to hosting you here at the school when we launch the program, and so thank you for coming through.
Thank you very much.